Hello and welcome back to another edition of Teacher Talks. And friends, I've got an awesome one today. Who is tougher? Navy SEALs versus Army Rangers. This one, I've decided instead of a book report, I'm actually going to read the entire book to you right here, right now. Hey, there's the front. There's the spine of the book, and you can see it's kind of a pamphlet style, and here is the back of the book right here. We'll dive in and we'll read that in just a moment, but let's talk about this guy for just a few minutes. Normally, I level all of my books. I had a little bit of a tough time finding the level on this. So if I was in my classroom, what I would call this book is a P+, meaning that it's going to land somewhere up above about third grade, going into like fourth grade. And I really think it's going to be more like a fourth to fifth grade book. So that should give you at least an idea. But the good news is we're going to read this one together. And if at any point you want to try out this book to see if you want to purchase it, you could always pause the video on a page, try practicing reading it, and see if you can read it without getting stuck on maybe about 3 or 4 words per page would be the maximum that I would suggest, unless you're going to have somebody read it to you, like mom, dad, grandma, whoever it's going to be. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into this guy. So this is a book by Jerry Pallotta, and it is published by Scholastic. And Jerry Pallotta, you should know that name. After all, my opinion is that Jerry Pallotta is at the forefront of nonfiction writing for students and kids. The Who Would Win series, absolutely fantastic, phenomenal series. And what makes it so special that this book also includes is it kind of puts two different bugs, creatures, animals against each other, and you learn and gain all this knowledge. And at the end, Jerry has them do sort of a mock battle, and you get to figure out who would win. And you're using your predictions based on all the evidence that you've collected. And this book is going to be the exact same style. So we're going to gain all this different evidence about the Navy SEALs and all this different evidence about the Army Rangers. And we're going to kind of figure out what would happen and which one would be better at certain environments and certain types of battles, and who's better at shooting and who might be able to hold their breath longer and all these different things. And it's really, really awesome. Now, I do want to say this. Normally when I'm doing these books, I'm really encouraging you guys to get out there and purchase the books. I have to say, I'm not see if I can track down Jerry on this one or part of his team, because I looked on his website and I did not see it on there. I may have missed it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see it. I also looked in some other spots too, like Amazon and some other places that I normally shop for books, and I didn't see this book. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more homework and see if it is still in syndication, or if it's still being produced, or if maybe for some reason they are not producing it anymore. Again, the good news is I'm going to show you and read you every single page. But if it is a book you want to purchase, again, check in with me. You can put some comments down below, and I can see if I can help you track down what that is. And again, maybe I'll try to reach out to Jerry and his team and see if we can figure it out. Okay, with no further ado, let's dive in deep. Who is tougher? Okay, so let's read that back. Let's see what they're saying back here. Who do you think is tougher, a U.S. Navy SEAL or a U.S. Army Ranger? Both are well-equipped, well-trained, and incredibly brave. But what are their similarities and differences? Ooh, similarities and differences. That sounds like some stuff right out of my classroom here. Is one tougher than the other? This fascinating book explains what each warrior does so well. And it really is a fascinating book, you know. And I don't want to slow us down, but at the same time, you know, I see students go in the library and maybe they want to read about Navy SEALs, and they seem pretty interested. And maybe some others that want to read about like Army Rangers or any other topic. But when you put those two together and make it like a little bit of a battle, like these who would wins, now I feel like you're learning for like at a whole nother level. So really cool. All right, let's see who is tougher. Oh, this is pretty neat too. So Jerry and I have been working together a little bit in his team, and he actually wrote on this one. It says, Teacher Talks, lead the way, Jerry Pallotta 2019. So cool, so cool. Thanks, Jerry, and thanks to your team out there. All right, let's see it. Okay, there's the Navy SEAL. Ooh, look at that. There's their little symbol or emblem, and there's the Army Rangers. Very cool, very cool. All right. Ooh, that looks exciting, huh? Who do you think is tougher, a U.S. Navy SEAL or a U.S. Army Ranger? This is not a fight. They're on the same team, the United States of America. This book explains what each warrior does so well. Very cool. U.S. Navy. Definition. SEAL stands for Sea, Air, Land. Navy fact, a man or a woman in the Navy is called a sailor. U.S. Navy is fighting and protection. The U.S. Navy is a fighting and protection armed force consisting of ships, boats, submarines, aircraft, and sailors. SEALs are an elite, quick attack force. They are manned, trained, and equipped by the U.S. Navy. U.S. Army. Army fact, a man or a woman in the Army is called a soldier. U.S. Army is a fighting force of soldiers. The Rangers are an elite, quick strike force. They are manned, trained, and equipped by the U.S. Army. SEAL history. The SEALs were established by President John F. Kennedy in 1962 as a small elite maritime military force to conduct unconventional warfare. They carry out small unit secret missions that large force with ships, tanks, jets, or submarines can't. In World War II, these elite combatants were often called frogmen. They cleared beaches in the Pacific and in Normandy. Before D-Day, they later had operations in Vietnam, Panama, Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan, and more. Name fact, SEAL used to be called UDT, Underwater Demolition Team. Frogman fact, before UDT, they were called NCDU, Naval Combat Demolition Units. Ranger history. Colonial fact, the first time a military used the term Rangers was during King Philip's War in 1676. It's a long time ago. Modern Army Rangers history begins in 1974, when the Army determined the need for permanent battalions of elite, quick, light, highly skilled infantry soldiers. The existing 6 battalions were combined in 1986 into the 75th Ranger Regiment. But there were Rangers long before 1974. Various Ranger units fought in the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, and the Civil War. Some 75 years later, during World War II, Ranger units reappeared. Rangers fought again in the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and other conflicts. Very cool. BUDS. Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL. Are you tough enough to become a SEAL? Sailors start out in BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL. Phase 1, green helmets. Candidates compete in 8 weeks of teamwork with physical, mental, and water challenges. You need an excellent time in the 4-mile beach run and a 2-mile ocean swim. Many sailors wonder if it was a good idea. Did you know? Passing each phase earns a candidate the right to wear different colored helmets. Airborne. All Ranger candidates must complete Airborne School, where they will learn how to static line parachute. They do not free fall jump. Then they move to RASP. Definition. A ripcord is the cord that is pulled to open a parachute. Parachute fact. In static line parachuting, the soldier does not pull his own ripcord. Free fall jumpers pull their own ripcords. BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL. Phase 2, blue helmets. Candidates undergo 8 weeks of underwater combat training. They try to survive in freezing cold water, tricky currents, and huge waves. Candidates can quit at any time. Phase 3, red helmets. Candidates spend 9 weeks learning weapons, demolitions, navigation, patrolling, rappelling, and small unit tactics. Even if you pass BUDS, you're not a SEAL yet. RASP, Ranger Assessment and Selection Program. RASP is 8 weeks of intense physical, mental, and military training. Soldiers compete to get placed in a Ranger battalion and hope to get a slot at Ranger School. Many of the soldiers drop out within the first 2 weeks and return to regular infantry unit. RASP could be summed up as, are you tough enough? Recent fact, RASP used to be called RIP, RIP, Ranger Indoctrine Program. Ranger Indoctrine Program. You have graduated from RASP. You have earned your tan beret. Report to Ranger Battalion. This book is awesome. SQT, SEAL Qualification Training. Candidates who get through BUDS move on to 8 weeks of SQT. Here they learn to be marksmen, use different types of weapons. They learn to use underwater rebreather and other water survival skills. SEALs also learn teamwork and trust in small 4-man fire teams. Ranger School, Rap Week. That's a cool sign. Ranger, not for the weak or faint-hearted. After a soldier is accepted into Ranger School, the first week is called Ranger Assessment Phase, RAP. Rap Week is a tough physical and mental challenge. Man, that looks hard right there. Hanging upside down, coming after that. Qualification fact. More than 1/3 of the candidates fail to meet the Ranger standard during Rap Week and are dropped from the course. SQT, SEAL Qualification Training. Candidates also learn cold weather skills, land navigation, and parachuting. Halo versus hey-ho. Another way to parachute is hey-low, high altitude, low opening. Hey-ho is high altitude, high opening. Ranger School. Derby phase, nickname crawl. Definition, a ruck march is a hike with full gear. World War II fact. Derby is named after William O'Darby, the first Ranger commander. In squad-size units, soldiers learned to plan, patrol, and execute missions while under the mental and physical stress. Mountain phase, nickname walk. Food and sleep-deprived, candidates lead platoons through patrolling operations in rugged mountains. Man, look at that. Not sure if Teacher Talks is doing that one. SEAL candidates also learn medical skills so that they can care for one another in battle. They learn explosives and demolitions. All SEALs go through SEER training. This is a 3-week, highly secretive course. SEER stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, Escape. SEER training stresses the U.S. Military Code of Conduct, survival skills, evading capture, and how to behave as a prisoner of war, in case the bad guys catch you. Language. SEALs attend 2 months of language school. Know how to speak a local language helps any operation. Ranger School Swamp Phase, nickname Run. Soldiers learn water crossing, small boat movement, and swamp operations while learning to patrol in harsh conditions. Dropout fact. Less than 1/2 of the candidates who start the course will graduate. Other comparisons. Some Rangers go through SEER or language school, but it is not required. SEALs must achieve a 1,000-yard swim with fins 20 minutes or faster, push-ups at least 70 in a 2-minute time limit, pull-ups at least 10 in a 2-minute limit, curl-ups at least 60 in a 2-minute limit, 4-mile run wearing boots and pants 31 minutes or faster. The Rangers must achieve push-ups 49 in 2 minutes, sit-ups 59 in 2 minutes, pull-ups 6 in a row, run 5 miles in 40 minutes or under, march 12 miles in under 3 hours with 45-pound rucksack. The standards may look easy on paper, but the cadre mentally challenge you while grading. So in other words, they're going to be kind of screaming and hollering, and you're going to be tired, and you got to do all that. Yeah, something tells me that's not as easy as it sounds. After SQT, you've earned your trident. Congratulations, you are now a SEAL. Report to SEAL team. Cool, look at that trident. That's very cool. The anchor symbolizes the U.S. Navy. The eagle symbolizes the SEAL's ability to quickly attack from the air. The trident symbolizes Neptune. The pistol symbolizes that SEALs also work on land. The pistol is cocked and ready to fire, for SEALs are ready at all times. Very cool. Sea fact. The ocean is the toughest environment for a warrior. Roman god fact. Neptune was the Roman god of the sea. SEALs have a connection to the sea. Tab, Ranger. A soldier earns a Ranger tab after completing Ranger school. A tab is an insignia or a badge worn on the uniform. Every Army unit has its own special insignia. Scroll, 75 Ranger RGT. Only Rangers serving in the Elite 75 Ranger Regiment may wear this insignia. Distinctive unit insignia. The star represents Burma. The sun represents China. These are two countries in which Rangers fought in World War II. The lightning bolt signifies the Rangers' quick strike capabilities. SEAL equipment. Wetsuit, rebreather, M4A1 carbine, fins. Navy SEAL survival kit includes map, fire starting kit, flares, wire, signal mirror, compass, mini multi-tool, LED squeeze light, Kevlar bulletproof vest, helmet, safety pins, and more. Ranger equipment. Night vision goggles, helmet with helmet light, wind, dust goggles, visibility infrared strobe light, M4A1 carbine with a 4x scope day-night laser tactical light. That's really interesting. So it sounds to me like this is essentially the same weapon as this one over here. Very, very interesting. Okay, we got a radio going on there and helmet with, okay, we got that guy. Infrared fact. Infrared strobe light guides aircraft to our soldier. Definition. A flashbang is a grenade that sounds like gunfire to confuse the enemy. Definition. Flex cuffs are plastic handcuffs. Safety lanyard. Ranger kit includes body armor, grenades, flashbangs, ammo, water source, first aid, tourniquet, radio, flex cuffs, batteries, snacks, C4 explosives, and more. Night vision. Night vision goggles allow you to see when it's pitch black out. What you will see when you look like is this. All Navy SEALs use night vision goggles. Very cool. Infrared fact. Night vision allows SEALs to see infrared light. Infrared light is light that cannot be seen or can't be seen by the human eye. Unselfish fact. All SEALs are volunteers. No one forces anyone to become an elite warrior. Very cool. Goggles. All Rangers also carry night vision goggles. SEALs and Rangers often use many of the same pieces of equipment. How can SEALs get to battle? Swim. They could swim or scuba dive to the site. Parachute. They could parachute in. SEALs practiced static line parachuting and free fall parachuting. Inflatable boats. Inflatable boats are light and fast. They're a proven way to get SEALs to their mission. What is the quickest way to get Rangers to the fight? Ground infiltration. Rangers often walk, jog, or run to battle. Fast rope from helicopter. Rangers fast rope from Chinooks, Blackhawks, and Little Birds. Ranger dog fast rope too. Ranger dogs fast rope too, Parachute. The soldier in charge of the jump is called a jump master. Not that high. Rangers usually jump from only about 1,000 feet in the air. This is to get them to the ground as fast as possible. Thank you, SEALs. Our favorite SEAL t-shirts. Oh, this is cool. Navy SEALs. The only easy day was yesterday. Cool. And there's that trident, of course. Ready to lead, ready to follow, never quit. U.S. Navy SEALs. When something absolutely positively has to be destroyed overnight. Thank you, Rangers. And there's the favorite t-shirts of the Rangers. Definition. Sua sponte means of their own accord. All Rangers are volunteers. You can see there's that with that insignia too. Most people knock. We're not most people. Army Rangers kicking down the door. Rangers, 75th Regiment. Rangers lead the way. Fact, Rangers lead the way has been the Ranger motto since D-Day. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to stop us for 1 second here. What was it that Jerry Pallotta said here? Teacher talks, lead the way. And that's the Rangers who said it, right? Interesting. I wonder if Jerry has a military experience. Think he was a Ranger? I don't know. Naval Special Warfare. Here are the locations of the SEAL teams. Did you know? Navy Boot Camp is located at Great Lake, Illinois. West Coast, San Diego SEAL is home of the SEAL teams 1, 3, 5, and 7. Hawaii is home of SEAL Delivery Vehicle Team 1. East Coast, Little Creek, Virginia is home of SEAL Teams 2, 4, 8, and 10. SEAL Team 6 is secret. We're not talking about it. That's kind of fun, huh? 75th Ranger Regiment. Here are the locations of the Ranger battalions. Fort Lewis, Washington is home of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Famous fact, Daniel Boone and Abraham Lincoln were Rangers. Very cool. Headquarters fact, 75th Regiment headquarters is located in Fort Benning, Georgia. Geography fact, Fort Benning, Georgia is home to infantry basic training, advanced infantry training, airborne school, and RASP. Fort Benning, Georgia is the home of the 3rd Ranger Battalion. Special Troop Battalion, STB, is also located at Fort Benning. Hunter Army Airfield, Georgia is home of the 1st Ranger Battalion. Man, this book is really fantastic. Who is tougher, a SEAL or a Ranger? Ooh, let's figure this out. Who do you think's tougher? If we had a contest, who could hold their breath the longest underwater, the SEAL would win. If we had a race between a SEAL and a Ranger up a steep mountain carrying 50-pound rucksacks, protective plates, and rifles, who would win? The Ranger. If both were sent to a shooting range and the SEAL and the Ranger shot at stationary and moving targets using different weapons, who would be the best shot? It's a tie. They are both excellent marksmen. If the SEAL and the Ranger had to swim a mile from a ship to a submarine in freezing water and huge waves, the SEAL would win. During battle, if a SEAL and a Ranger each had to carry a wounded comrade to safety, who would do it better? This would also be a tie because both warriors are trained never to leave anyone behind. In thick forest with little sleep, who would find his way through the hills and valleys better? The Ranger. Who is tougher, a SEAL or a Ranger? They are both tough, physically and mentally. These highly trained warriors are on the same team. They serve America and protect our freedoms. Fact, only 1 out of about 100 sailors is tough and smart enough to qualify to be a SEAL. Fact, only 1 out of about 100 soldiers is tough and smart enough to qualify to be a Ranger. Fact, only 1 in 64,000 Americans becomes a SEAL or a Ranger. Wow, that was an awesome, awesome book. Jerry Pallotta, you've done it again. Now, I say that like you did it recently. I need to double check and see exactly when this was made. But and again, I'll try to check with Jerry and his team and see if we can figure out if this one is still being made or not. Hey friends, I so appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you're looking for those Dogman videos, the Dogman stuff going on, we have a second channel now, and if you look down in the description, I'll put that second channel down there. It's Teacher Talks Dogman. and we're gonna move and start doing all of our Dogman, or most of the Dogman material, over at that new channel. And that'll open us up to some more books and more authors to explore, and some more awesome stuff by Mr. Jerry Pallotta as well. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video yet, please take the time to do it now. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. We'll see you next time.